Dubai often appears in headlines as a city of superlatives. Tallest buildings, largest malls, grandest spectacles. But today, we're stepping away from the noise. We're exploring Dubai at a gentler pace, finding the quiet corners where old traditions still hum softly, where morning light paints the creek in warm amber, and where you can still hear the call to prayer echo across neighborhoods that remember a different time. This isn't about racing through landmarks. It's about noticing the details. The scent of frankincense in a narrow alley, the rhythm of a wooden abra crossing the water, the way shadows fall across wind towers in the afternoon. Let's begin where Dubai itself began, along the water. The Dhow harbor wakes early, when the air is still cool and the light hasn't yet turned harsh. These wooden cargo boats have been crossing the Gulf for centuries, carrying spices, textiles, and everyday goods between Dubai and ports across Iran, India, and East Africa. Arrive around 6 or 7 in the morning, and you'll see workers loading and unloading in quiet choreography. No rush, just steady work. It's not a tourist site, so move respectfully, stay out of the way, and simply observe. There's something grounding about watching a practice that hasn't fundamentally changed in generations. Afterward, you might find a small tea stall nearby, serving karak chai in plastic cups, sweet, spiced, and perfect for sipping while you watch the creek come alive. Al Fahidi Historical Neighborhood sits on the Bur Dubai side of the creek, a small, preserved district of narrow lanes and coral stone houses topped with wind towers, traditional cooling systems that caught breezes before air conditioning existed. Entry is free, and it's open daily, though mornings or late afternoons are most pleasant for walking. The lanes are shaded, quiet, and almost maze-like. You'll find small galleries, cafes tucked into courtyards, and the occasional cat napping in a doorway. The Arabian tea house here serves simple, honest meals. Hummus, tabbouleh, grilled halloumi, in a garden courtyard that feels a world away from the glass towers a few kilometers south. Take your time. There's no checklist here, just atmosphere and architecture that whispers rather than shouts. The Abra is a small wooden water taxi, and it's been ferrying people across the creek for as long as anyone can remember. It costs just 1 dirham, about 30 cents, and runs continuously between Dira and Bur Dubai. There's no schedule, no app. You simply walk to the dock, wait a moment, and step aboard when the boat is ready. The crossing takes maybe 5 minutes, and in that short time, you're part of the city's daily rhythm. Commuters heading to work, shoppers with bags, elderly men in traditional kanduras chatting quietly. The breeze off the water is gentle, the engine hums low, and for a moment, you're suspended between the old Souks on one side and the modern skyline on the other. It's unhurried, authentic, and oddly meditative. The Gold Souk in Dera is exactly what it sounds like, a covered market lined with shops displaying necklaces, bangles, rings, and bracelets in dizzying abundance. The sheer volume of gold is remarkable, but this isn't a place for quick browsing. Shopkeepers are friendly but persistent, and haggling is expected. If you're not buying, a polite, "just looking," usually suffices. The real pleasure is in wandering, watching light catch the filigree work, noticing the mix of traditional Arabic designs and modern tastes, hearing 5 languages in 5 minutes. Visit in the evening when it's cooler and the souk is busiest, or mid-morning if you prefer fewer people. Either way, keep your belongings close, stay aware, and enjoy the spectacle without pressure. Just beyond the gold, the spice and textile souks offer quieter, more fragrant escapes. A few lanes away from the gold, the spice souk feels quieter, more contemplative. Burlap sacks overflow with turmeric, saffron, dried lemons, cardamom, cinnamon sticks, and rose petals. The air is thick with fragrance, earthy, sweet, sharp all at once. Shopkeepers sit calmly, often happy to explain what each spice is used for, how to brew a proper saffron tea, or what makes Iranian saffron different from the rest. Prices are reasonable, and while bargaining is still part of the culture, it's gentler here. You might buy a small bag of frankincense or sumac, or simply breathe deeply and appreciate the sensory richness. There's no rush. This is a place to slow down, to ask questions, to let curiosity guide you through textures and smells that connect this city to ancient trade routes. Jumeirah Mosque is one of the few mosques in the UAE open to non-Muslim visitors, offering guided tours that emphasize understanding and respect. Tours run several mornings a week, check ahead for times, and include a gentle introduction to Islamic practices, architecture, and the daily rhythms of prayer. Dress modestly. Women are offered abayas and headscarves at the entrance if needed. The interior is serene. Soft carpets, geometric patterns, light filtering through stained glass. The guides are welcoming, encouraging questions in a space free of judgment. It's not a tourist attraction in the conventional sense. It's an invitation to learn, to listen, and to appreciate a different way of moving through the world. Afterward, the surrounding Jumeirah neighborhood offers tree-lined streets, small cafes, and a slower pace worth exploring. Al Seef is a newer development along the creek, designed to echo the old trading port feel while housing modern cafes, shops, and restaurants. It's carefully curated, perhaps too carefully for some, but it offers a pleasant evening walk, especially as the sun sets and the lights begin to glow softly along the waterfront. Traditional architecture sits beside contemporary glass, and the promenade is wide, calm, and family-friendly. You'll find Arabic coffee served in small cups, date shops offering samples, and quiet benches facing the water. It's not undiscovered, but it's not overwhelming either. Think of it as a bridge between Dubai's past and present, a place where you can enjoy both without committing fully to either. The gelato here is surprisingly good, and the breeze off the creek makes it easy to linger. Sometimes the best view isn't from the top of a tower, it's from the water. There are evening dinner cruises on traditional dhows, but if you prefer something quieter, simply find a spot along the creek at sunset and watch the light change. The old buildings on one side turn golden. The modern skyline on the other catches the last rays, and the water between them becomes a mirror. Locals jog along the promenade, families picnic on the grass, and the city hums at a lower volume. This is where you remember that Dubai, for all its ambition, is still a place where people live, work, and find small moments of peace. Bring a bottle of water, sit on a bench, and let the scene unfold without narration. Sometimes, silence is the best guide. If you want true stillness, drive 30 minutes out of the city toward the desert conservation reserves. Early morning is best, before the heat sets in and before the tour groups arrive. The sand glows pale gold, the dunes roll gently, and the silence is profound. You might see Arabian oryx, gazelles, or simply the uninterrupted horizon. Some prefer organized safaris, others rent a car and explore the calmer edges on their own. Either way, the desert offers perspective, a reminder that beneath all the construction and ambition, this land was shaped by wind, sun, and patience. Bring water, respect the environment, and give yourself time to simply be still. The city will still be there when you return, but something in you might have shifted. You can't talk about Dubai without acknowledging the towers, the malls, the engineered spectacle. The Burj Khalifa is indeed the tallest building in the world. The Dubai Mall is enormous. The fountains perform on schedule. But you don't have to rush through them. Visit the observation deck early in the morning or just before sunset to avoid crowds. Walk through the mall as an air-conditioned retreat from the heat, not as a shopping mission. Watch the fountains from a distance. perhaps from a quieter cafe terrace where the choreography becomes background music rather than the main event. These places are part of Dubai's identity, but they don't have to define your experience. You can appreciate the ambition, the engineering, the sheer audacity, and still choose quiet over spectacle, presence over performance. Dubai's food scene is vast, but some of the best meals are the simplest. Small Lebanese, Iranian, Indian, and Filipino restaurants fill neighborhoods like Karama and Satwa, serving generous portions at gentle prices. A plate of chicken shawarma wrapped in fresh bread, a bowl of lentil soup, a platter of grilled kebabs with saffron rice. These are meals meant to be shared, eaten slowly, and enjoyed without fuss. Al Mala in Satwa is a local favorite. Open late, always busy, plastic chairs on the sidewalk, and food that never disappoints. Ravi's in Satwa is another institution. Pakistani comfort food, fluorescent lighting, and zero pretension. Order more than you think you need, share with your table, and savor the fact that great food doesn't require a reservation or a dress code. As the day cools, old Dubai neighborhoods like Bastakia and the areas around Al Fahidi take on a different character. Lights flicker on in small cafes, the call to prayer drifts across rooftops, and the streets empty just enough to feel intimate. This is when you can walk without purpose, turning down alleys you missed earlier, pausing to admire a carved wooden door, listening to conversations in Arabic, Urdu, Tagalog. There's no agenda here, no photo checklist, just the pleasure of being somewhere unfamiliar and letting it unfold at its own pace. You might stumble upon a small art gallery, a courtyard restaurant, or simply a bench where you can sit and watch the light fade. These moments don't make it into guidebooks, but they're often what you remember most. A few practical thoughts before you go. Dubai's metro is clean, affordable, and connects most major areas. Use it to avoid traffic and expense. Taxis are metered and honest. Ride-hailing apps work well too. Dress modestly in older neighborhoods and religious sites. Casual and comfortable is fine elsewhere. Summer heat is intense. Plan outdoor activities for early morning or evening. Ramadan changes rhythms significantly. Restaurants close during daylight hours, and the city takes on a quieter, more reflective tone. Always carry water, use sunscreen, and respect local customs. Most people speak English, and hospitality is genuine. Ask questions, say thank you in Arabic if you can, shukran, and you'll find doors open more easily. Dubai rewards those who approach it with curiosity rather than expectation, patience rather than haste. If this slower walk through Dubai resonated with you, you might enjoy more stories like this in our Calm Travel Guides playlist, where we explore cities and places not as checklists, but as atmospheres to inhabit gently. We also have a cultural calm series that dives into traditions, rituals, and the quiet details that shape how people live and connect. Every journey is an invitation to notice, to breathe, and to move through the world with a little more presence. Thank you for traveling calmly with us today. Until the next story, take care and keep seeking the quiet corners.